Hello everyone, I'm Rile and welcome to a brand new episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. Um, like I said, I'm sorry for the last episode being so short, but this will be long. And I'm starting a new series very soon. And the series is The Legend of Zelda, the first game. I'm planning to play every single Legend of Zelda game. But I won't mention much about that in this video since this isn't Legend of Zelda, this is Phoenix Wright. So, let's just start the game. What? Prosecutor One Karma, you mean? No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred Von Karma, he was a real sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, also he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor, I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya. Oh, it's Pearly. Mystic Maya. Pearly. You shut up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where is your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed the map. Don't tell me you walk all the way here. Of course not. I ran. I can't. Oh my. If it takes 2 hours by train. Oh man. Pearly, what about train? Huh? What's that train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth will be nice to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend. I still remember him as if I had just seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorching, fierce battle until the very end. It was always back and forth with them, but when you're rivals for life. Maya, please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone and he's not coming back. But what? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not time to talk about that anyway. Thank you. June 21, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom No. 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and defense prepared? What is with this girl? Ahem. Mr. Wright, are you finally prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does it always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I am a woman, correct? Hold on, so this kid is famed. This kid is the famed prosecutor Von Karma. I am Franziska von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. Yow! Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood only have one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant Maya Fey will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. I know my voice isn't like a woman voice, but I can focus on making a female voice while giving her that weird accent, so sorry. I will practice her voice after this episode, or maybe I'll pause and practice, but I don't know. Let's just continue this way for now. Very well. What is the defense position, Your Honor? Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool, who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes, I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right, I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense? A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of himself. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but the defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Because to play justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's as scary as her father like the other, I suppose. Witness, your name and occupation. Yes, sir, my name's Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at local prisons. Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of the murder. Yes, sir, if everyone will please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? The look of disbelief on the judge's face is... anyway... wait a second. I'm back. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from the inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. And that's when they found the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over. I can't do the judge voice again. Why am I like this? I'll just give him the deep voice because I can't do the voice. So how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time then. Cause of death. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from the point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after stabbing. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. Autopsy report at court record. The court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. cause of death. Death. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. The victim? Now, why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints? There were fingerprints? Along with the victims. The defendant, Maya Face, were also on the grip, sir. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. I was right in her hands there. Point blank, huh? So about how far away was it? It was anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away. And how do you know he was shot at point blank? Mr. Phoenix Wright. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. I grow tired. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn? When something is shot from a point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. I can't talk, and that gets real hot, pal. And there are definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. Stab. And what was he stabbed with? A fruit knife. I see. And whose knife was it? It looks like it belongs to I shouldn't have started doing a English channel. It looks like it belongs to the face, sir. And of course, Maya Face fingerprints. And Maya Face fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh? This does not look good. Ha ha ha. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? How severe was the wound? If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes Maya look like she had stabbed him with the intent to kill. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Yep, sure as sure can be. One look at the wounds and you'd come to the same conclusion too, pal. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of the other fool. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of the other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix, right? Grr, what a pain. That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought two murderous weapons with me today. Very well, the court accepts them into evidence. Evidence? The date time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at the time. And the 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them? This does seem like an open and shut case. Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. as if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there? That is quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes, even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you would change your play in less than 10 minutes. What would you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance. This is a huge decision. I'd better think this through all the way. I should think this. Totally. Nah. If you played justified self-defense, you would basically be confessing to a murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be destroyed and she'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor. Have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective. Yes, sir. Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike. Yes, sir. No, see here, proceedings are run by... oh, yes, of course, go ahead, detective, and give me your testimony. I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Incriminating evidence. Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a backspray of blood on this. This piece directly links my fate to the crime, sir. I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood spatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? Ha, what's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop. Please stop calling me by full name. It's disturbing. Incriminating evidence. Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier? You are kind of scared today, you know, pal? Come now, Mr. Wright, there's no need for that kind of attitude in my court. Alright, just please stop glaring at me like that. Maya's costume? Yeah, she was wearing the time we arrested her. Maya, she's wearing her shining costume today too. Is she not allowed to wear anything else? Wear? This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it was the victim's blood. So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. Were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well, if you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time to move on. Yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct. Girl, now even the judge is on our side. But if I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be a clue somewhere on this costume. I just have to look harder. Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There's no way for you to poke holes. Looks like my time is up, so about the costume. There's one little thing. It's literally just a little. Do you get it? Little, really. Your Honor. Actually, there's something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where's this problem you are talking about? I come this far. There's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. Right here, this little hole. I can't... Okay. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve? There's a tiny hole there. A hole? But that doesn't report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder. It looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Order! This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. May I ask costume update in the court record? Sorry about that. I guess you messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony that just now was a fluke, nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. While I agree it's a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definite problem with the evidence, then... No way! Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. Haha. Objection! Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes. Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlook supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means, not fight back? I can't talk, but whatever. You're right. It would seem that way. If the victim tried to shoot the defendant, then it will change everything. Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. What with that? Are you finished yet, love? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Miss Von Karma? It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense play. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Ack! Now that... Why, that's right. Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all. No! Well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? Oh, that voice. Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired at an inn, of course. Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together a scenario all by myself? Ah! Yes, sir. Right away, sir. She's a woman, you know. You shouldn't say sir. You should say ma'am. What transpired? During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening and took the victim's gun and ended it. This scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, just by listening, it does make sense. Wait a second, guys. Okay, I'm back. Just by listening, it does make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Navda, your cross-examination, please. What transpired? Can I just object before pressing him? Murder weapon was run. Wait, where's the autopsy? Here. He did say that he couldn't fight back or something like that. But it doesn't mention in the court records. It doesn't, right? So let's just press. So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him. But if you think about the blood loss, it was pretty bad. How bad would you say it was? Actually, I went to give blood the other day, and afterward I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the distance. Sorry. Where in the world did that pistol come from? It looks like the victim Dr. Gray has specifically bought it for that day. But a handgun. He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? The victim took a shot. So you are saying that the bullet hole in his costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when the shot was fired. Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. Maya has never fired a gun before in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it by pulling the trigger. Even me, I wonder. Yeah, let's just try it. Let's just try it on Francisca's head. Now do you understand? Avon Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes us look very bad. But there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to be uncover the truth. I can feel it. There is quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. I didn't body strength, and it seems unlikely that the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess. You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the crane channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, the event could have easily been a match for the doctor. I don't believe it. She even studied upon the crane channeling technique. Like I said before, I am perfect. About what you were talking about, I didn't quite get it. Never mind, let's continue with the testimony. Okay, so I have to present something. Shoot. I don't know what to do. Let's look at the evidence. This doesn't prove anything though. It just proves that Maya was a real shot. Yeah. I don't know. Let's try this. And yep, it didn't work. This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in our statement, Your Honor. Holding the order, blah 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 blah. I want to read this. Mr. Wright, please. Blah 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 blah. You are stupid. Did I press this? Yeah. Let's try this. I'm probably wrong. And I'm wrong. I'll figure this out and come back. Okay guys, I'm back. I totally didn't look at a walkthrough. Why will I do something like that? By the way, if you are wondering why the health bar is full, it's because the emulator crashed, so I had to reopen it again, and I used the unlock all chapters cheat, so I could fast forward the text and come back where I left off. Now we are continuing. I look at the walkthrough. Looks like I have to present this at the fourth statement. Objection. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume? Gunpowder burn? This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there is not a single trace of gunpowder burned on this costume. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix, Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of the fight, the victim pushed the defendant away, and it was then when they were separated that he fired. Fired? He fired. How was that? As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had strength to push the defendant very far after that. Well, then, that's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shots. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. Something doesn't make sense, of course. I don't know what, but let's go. There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Fatal flaw? Yeah, very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make her final blow, and when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts that line of thinking. It's this, of course, but I have to go. So wait a second. Okay, I'm back. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that, a folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ah! It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually scuttled out to the ground. Order, order! This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Where was she? Was she here? Somewhere around here. Uh-oh, the judge faces scrunched like he just smelled some serious bad breath. Wait, I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up. Sure. In the meantime, I want you to think things through again, Mr. Wright. Oopsie. Of course. Whoops. Let's time is down. For now, I should focus on where Maya was at the time of the crime. Blah 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 blah. Where was she? Here, 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 or here? Let's see. Here. Here. Yes. Behind the fallen screen. Act. The victim and his attacker were fighting, were they not? Then what would the attacker be doing all the way back there? Besides which, if the attacker was behind the folding screen, then how could the victim even know where to shoot? It's obviously impossible. Yeah, I guess so. Mr. Wright. Oh. Oh. I thought that was the real answer. Oops. Let's turn it down, blah 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 blah. Here. Ah. The phone's... the phone's dying. Ah, I have to charge it. But let's continue for a little while. Somewhere around here. Uh-oh. Rip. Okay, how about here? I know it doesn't make sense, but let's try everything, okay? This is Ace Attorney. Everything can happen, but no, of course, that was stupid. If it goes like this, I'm gonna die. How about the door? Rip. Ah, I hit my head. Ouch. My health is so low, I have to think this through. Maybe not behind the folding screen, but in front of the folding screen, maybe. But didn't I click this here before? Fuck it, let's just try. Please tell me this is true. She was standing here near the folding screen. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you judge distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? Why? You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be a gunpowder burn present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of his costume. Curse you, Mr. Phoenix is right. You... I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing away from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defense situation? It changes everything. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at that time? Squatting all the way by folding screen? Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why did she by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oof! Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix, right? Let's marry each other. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Of all things to inherit, why did it have to be that smiling smile? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start repairing your standing by first removing the wrist and goatee. Oh, and the rest assured your punishment will come later. But punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's gotta be Lada. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. Oops, wrong voice. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. To be continued. Well, this was short too, but I'll end the episode here. See you in the next episode, guys. Bye.